Welcome, my dear YouTube family, to Nine's Corner. I am Nine. It is so nice to meet you. And if you're returning, welcome back, my dear friends. I hope you noticed I lit up my corner so you could literally see I do work from the corner of my room. So I am going to look into some odds and ends of questions that I've been receiving. So the first one, we're going to look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who just, when she's on the stand, she doesn't know. She has no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And yet when she has the spotlight, she can certainly come up with the verbal diarrhea and say the most awful, offensive things, including more recently, she is a strong Christian who's against the Catholic Church because her stance is, how dare they help the migrants? And as far as she's concerned, Satan is now running the church. So we're going to look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's have a look and see, will she be taken off the ballot? Because this has just gotten to the point of, it's beyond ridiculous that this person is allowed to have a position within the government. This is just ridiculous. So let's have a look and see what is the future coming for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Will she in fact be taken off the ballot? Okay, let's have a look at her. Marjorie, in the past, there's her following the Trumpster. Ooh, man, the knives are out for her right now. She's in big trouble. She's going to ruin everything, her reputation, just everything. Oh no, in the near future, she's going to be making a deal. Okay, let's let the cards work themselves out because we want to see, is she going to be taken off the ballot? I mean, here we're saying probably so. This could mean a different venture for her, you know, maybe getting into false news or that kind of thing. Ooh, underneath it all, we've got the Three of Swords. So she is feeling this. This is going to cause a lot of issues for her. She's going to be taken off the ballot. I really strongly feel, God, please let me be right. She's going to be taken off the ballot. And there's going to be other things major in her life that are going to happen to her, that are going to ruin her reputation. Like, ooh, yes, darling. So the sun is here, and the sun is literally shining the light on what's happening. And I hate this. I hate the fact that the sun card has the little baby on it, because to me, this is showing her literal vile opinion when it comes to migrants. And this is going to help, this is going to take her down. Now, I do think that something here, there's going to be some kind of, this could mean literally she's kicked out, and then in the future, possibly making some kind of connection, possibly making some kind of new venture, but still within the government, but just taking, the crazy Republican right side. Information. Interesting. Man, she's not going to slow down. Like, people see her in a really negative way. They see her as going too far. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, behind closed doors, people are like, what's wrong with her? But it's her intention with the Knight of Cups here, that she's doing what she thinks is going to keep her in everybody's mind. It's going to, advance her career. That's where her head is going. She is in a position where she really doesn't know her own mind. She's weighing out information, but she's not seeing the whole picture here. So she's going to be affected majorly. But she's got, her head is not screwed on properly. This is not a woman that's in her right mind. There's something really questionable there. And because of the way the cards, oh God, you know what, I'm just going to go. Because of the way the cards are laying out, I would not be shocked if it ended up being that she was abused or had some kind of childhood event that has affected her, some kind of control, some kind of important person in her life that really sat her down and gave her a certain way of thinking. But it broke her. Maybe this is something that might come to light about her personal life. Oh. When tarot wants to have a conversation, like I literally just got over saying about what these cards are kind of saying to me. And look, when it comes to people, I'm not trying to excuse her behavior. No matter what, we've all gone through, chart. If anybody watches Mama's, anyway, we've all gone through the ringer in our past. We all have our stories and our battle scars and all that kind of stuff. So that does not mean that you get to be a bad person putting out bad information and being a right-wing nut. Let's just put it out there. But I do think that there is some childhood abuse that has happened that has affected her. Maybe it's the men in her life having a negative effect on her. With the devil here, look, she is somebody who is working and coming from the shadow side. She is dependent, like somebody could be dependent on alcohol or dependent on cigarettes or dependent on food. She's dependent on this Tasmanian swirl of crazy because she doesn't have the intelligence to be a top Republican. She just knows how to, throw color into the water just to murk up the water. This is not somebody coming from any kind of, good place. And nobody's all good, nobody's all bad. And I mean, even if you dislike somebody, there's somebody who loves them, there's somebody's mother, brother, sister, what have you. So we know, as a compassionate group, that everybody has their good and bad. I feel as though there has been abuse in her past. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that she's abusing herself, either alcohol, drugs, I think this is probably indicating that a doctor's involved with whatever is her problem, whatever it is that is her demon. So I'm seeing this from a medical perspective. I'm seeing a doctor involved, so she's probably abusing prescription medicines. Maybe that could even mean, sometimes taking it, sometimes not. I get the feeling that she will be taken off. She will be taken off the case. I mean, unless she was to really backslide and take everything back, I don't see that happening. But she will end up having some kind of agreement, some kind of opportunity brought to her, and it's got to be from people that she's involved with now. I mean, this could be her and Matt Gaetz, for all I know, but you know what I'm saying. All right. So for our next reading, I thought we'll look into Eric Trump. Somebody had left a comment saying, where's Eric Trump? Why aren't we hearing about him? I mean, it wasn't that long ago, 2020 or maybe 2021, but it wasn't that long ago, a couple of years ago, that he was subpoenaed. He showed up and he what was it, like 500 times he pleaded the fifth because it would incriminate him. So obviously we know this is a man who has a lot to hide, a lot to lose, and he's involved right up into his neck. And then you have his wife, Laura, who has been on the ground floor of everything that is Trump, right? I gotta say, every time I think of Laura, I always think of that Laura Ingraham on Fox News. And I mean, I can't, I have tried to watch her just so I can see like what's the other side thinking or feeling. I can't watch her. I just can't. There's something so angry and sinister about her. But I remember back, and I remember reading it because it was, I read it somewhere about Eric. I think it was like in their Twitter feed or something like that. But anyway, she had said that she disagreed with Joe Biden wanting to pay off people's college funds or their college loans and stuff. Because she said, my mother was a waitress until she was 73, helping pay off our loans and stuff. And I'm just thinking, oh my God. When my mother was alive, she didn't have to walk. I mean, anything she wanted, I did. She was my queen. And if I had the money, oh my God, my mother would have been in a palace. And so I'm looking at Laura Ingraham thinking, my God, you're proud of the fact that your mother had to work to 73 for you kids. Are you kidding me? So anyway, that's my little story about Laura Ingraham, because I really do not like her. And every time I hear the name Laura, I always think of Ingrams. Now, I used to think of Laura. Remember she used to have that show? Oh, God, I can't remember. Now I'm like, in my head going, think of Laura. Remember from General Hospital, Luke and Laura? Oh, Lord. Eric Trump. Maybe that's why my head is just going, because Eric Trump got me all cray-cray. What's going to happen with Eric Trump? What's going to happen with Eric Trump? Eric. Oh, okay. So here we are. We got sorry, guys. Oh, no. My apologies, my friends. I had candle emergency. This candle had gone out, and then the two behind me had gone out, so I had to, resettle and restart. So I apologize. So here we are with Eric Trump. We have the Queen of Cups, which we're not surprised about, as he pled the fifth. He kept his mouth shut. He's on top of the problems. He has been directly in charge of, with Donald Jr., to deal with Trump org. So all that goes on with Trump org, Eric is going to be in on. High Priestess, he knows a lot of information. He knows more than what people give him credit for knowing. Underneath it, we got the World. So this is more than just Trump org. I think it has to do, because he's really involved with the Trump organization. So he's going to be in on all the fiscal troubles and everything. But I think this is showing that it's going to be something more external. There's going to be issues elsewhere in the world. His world is crumbling. On top of it, we got Temperance. He's thinking that by not talking, that he is able to keep his secrets, that if he just tells what he needs to tell. Oh, Eric. Oh, so sad, so sad. So sad. You're so stressed out. There's so much on your shoulders. It's coming for you, my friend. It's coming. Exposure. You're going to get exposed. It's going to have to deal with a lot to do with money, family money. The Queen of Wands. Your wife is so involved in this that she is just, you can have matching bracelets in jail, because I'm telling you, she is in on the ground floor. If anything, she might even actually be the brains behind behind Eric. You know, the one that, you know, behind every good man is an even better woman. This could actually be the case. Oh, 6 of Wands. So for right now, he's feeling like he's gotten away with it. He feels confident that things will change in their favor. I wonder if he's going to be subpoenaed again. Like, can they subpoena him again, considering that he didn't give any information? 6 of Wands. He's certainly there to, you know, talk about his dad, to protect his dad. Isn't that interesting? I just want to plan. Oh, sorry. Oh, Eric, I'm so sorry. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in big trouble. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, Eric, you're in so much trouble, my friend. You were in on the planning, on the dark money. This is going to break you, break your family. This is going to involve your wife, and it's going to be about shady money deals. And the truth is going to come out. You're going to end up having to walk away. There's going to be a lot of arguing, fighting. This is going to take a long time because there's so many people involved. He's going to make a deal, given information that might cause him to go to jail. Or maybe it could be, no, this is jail time. And he doesn't even see it coming. It's like he thinks he's gotten away with it. But this guy, right now, the energies are like, buddy, unless you change something up, you're going to be not just walking away from Trump and Trump org, you're going to be walking your way into jail. So for our last reading, I thought we're going to look into food shortages. We're going to look at how things are going to look over the summer and how things are going to look over the fall. Because we're looking at the war that's happening in Ukraine. That's where 30% of the wheat comes from, you know, from Russia and Ukraine and area. That's where 20% of corn production comes from. So we're talking about, and world production I'm talking about. So these are needed things. We've been going through COVID. We've gone through transportation issues, worker issues. And I mean, look at Ukraine. That's the wheat basket of the world. But all those people are now moved out of Ukraine. You've got Russian soldiers going in and doing just atrocities. So you can imagine what they're doing with the food and the food sources. I was watching Lovely Tea. She's one of the, I'm a tea sipper. She's one of the YouTubers that I watch. And she was even talking about within the States how there's been a number of like fires and fertilizing plants and having like different food production places bombed or on fire and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry. It was like this feeling came over me and it was like, is this being planned? Are they purposely trying to cause a food shortage so that certain sections of the world, the ones that are already poor, the ones that are already in need, the ones that already don't have, and make it so that life is that much harder? Because I know, it sounds crazy, but I mean, we've literally gone from, you know, not having people to transport the goods where the farmers were literally putting the food back into the ground. And now we've got all this war thing happening and we're being warned. Even Biden came out and said, you know, we're going to be looking at some tough times. I can see it in the grocery prices now, especially around some of the fruit and stuff, like, some really expensive. So I'm just going to keep with the advice that I've been giving you guys for, my God, months and months and months now. about food prices going up and taking care of ourselves, whatever that means for you, depending on the situation you're in, right? So let's have a look and see how will food prices be over the summer, and then we'll see, will they get more expensive come the fall, because a lot of what's going on has not been, mixed in with the ingredients of inflation and mixed in with what could come forward when it comes to food prices. And the oil prices have been up and down, but then farmers use diesel and diesel prices have gone up. And I mean, we could just go on and on, or at least I could go on and on. And that is, shut up, just get to it. Okay, so let's look at the summer. What are we looking at? Oh, okay, so for the summer, I think prices are probably going to stay somewhat in the range of where they are right now. I think that there's some stuff that we don't know. We don't see the full picture yet. So I think that people are really hoping that this is not going to be this big deal to them, or is not going to be as big of a deal as what the news and the media are making it out to be. I think a lot of people are blind to it. With the star here, I feel as though, for Western countries especially, we'll feel it at the cash register. We may feel it in some of the variety that we may not be able to get. But this is showing me there's going to be hot spots of hunger, hot spots of true need. It's going to be a humanitarian crisis, and we are going to be, we're going to be looked at by the way we treat our fellow human beings, how we treat Mother Nature. We're really coming into some spiritual reckoning, and it's going to affect the family. You have to start to see what's in front of you, even if it makes you fearful, because there's always hope. There's always going to be the next day. There's always going to be a better way. There's always going to be hope. It always is there. Okay. We're going to see things return back to a time when we had to tighten our belts. This is going to be on a world stage. I think that for the Western world, we are going to be okay. Yes, it's going to affect us price-wise. We're going to see some suffering coming up. We're going to hear about possible famines and things of that nature. And it's going to be on a world stage. It's going to be things that are in our face that we're going to see, that we're going to have to face. And, that really puts a lot of question in your heart of how you feel. What are your feelings, your morals, your what makes you up. It's really bringing us into a time of questioning. I'm fearful that this could be an indication, as well as an uprising or an uptick in COVID that's going to affect the world. Things are going to have to go back to the way things were. Now, these are going to be in hot spots like we talked about. But yeah, you're going to see certain places having to go back. Food prices they're going to go up, and it's going to be like they're going to keep referring to times when we've gone through difficult times, the recessions. I remember growing up, because I was born 1971, and I remember being told that in the 70s, it was like the late 70s, early 80s, it was a really hard financial time because housing prices and the borrowing costs and everything really just went crazy. So let's just have a quick look at housing. Is that something that we should be concerned about? Housing prices and market. I'll look at Canada. Yep, you'll be all right. They'll flux. They'll do their thing. I think there's some dark money coming in. I believe this is coming from China. Unfortunately, I do see some dark money coming in. It'll come in prices being generous. They're waiting to see what's to come. They're waiting to see what the energy is going to be going forward. I feel as though we could be getting like a CBC, a Canada News documentary kind of talking about this for the US. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. But again, stability being an issue, some sun maybe showing issues within the housing market. I think it's going to show, just like Canada, that a lot of foreign interest, foreign purchasing, and this could be one of the outshoots of the war, is realizing, who's carrying the money, who's buying up the land, that kind of a thing. Elsewhere, people moving away from their homes, it's so imbalanced. We've got the Fool here. It's sort of a case of, if you're in the right place at the right time, good for you. If you're in the wrong place, you're going to just drop off that hill, and you're a fool. You don't need, it might not even be your fault. It's not your fault where you're born. It's going to happen. But again, here we've got the star, and representing for me and the flow of this reading and the feeling and the motion of this reading, this is reflecting that there's going to be certain hot spots where you're going to see everything falling apart. Obviously, we're looking at Ukraine and different places around the world where infrastructure and all that stuff has been destroyed. I think there's going to be some new construction happening. That the eventuality will be that there will be a time of renewal, a time for reconstruction, people moving back. That's where the hope comes from. As always, my dear friends, I have our unity candle lit for each and every one of us. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, and do all that good stuff that helps my channel. Please leave comments below. Let me know if there's any questions that you have, if there's anything that you'd like for me to read on. Appreciate that I love reading on crimes to politics and everything else in between. Variety is the spice of life, right? All right, so leave your comments or questions below, and until the next time we chat, cheerio and take care.